Hello everyone. Welcome to this video on how to install the Bold Reports Enterprise Reporting using MySQL. Before getting into the process, let me briefly explain Enterprise Reporting. Bold Reports Enterprise Reporting is business intelligence reporting software by Syncfusion for creating, managing, and distributing pixel-perfect paginated RDL reports behind your organization's firewall. It enables users to analyze, interpret, and report business information in real time without IT overhead. Before installing the application, make sure that your development environment meets the hardware and software requirements. Operating System: Windows Client Operating System 8 or higher, Windows Server Operating System 2012 R2 or higher. CPU: 2-core, 2.4 GHz or faster, 32-bit or 64-bit processor. Memory: 8 GB RAM for 32-bit or 64-bit. Hard drive: 1.2 GB of free space only for installation files. Framework: Microsoft.NET Framework 4.5. Database: Microsoft SQL Server 2008 or higher, PostgreSQL Server 9.0 or higher, or MySQL. Web server: Internet Information Services 7.0 or higher. Web browser: Microsoft Edge, Mozilla Firefox, or Google Chrome. Now let's see how to download the Enterprise Reporting application from the Bold Reports website. To download the Enterprise Reporting application, I first go to boldreports.com. I click Products in the top panel. And then click Enterprise Reporting. Then, I click the Sign Up Free button. If you are new to Bold Reports, fill the necessary fields. And click Submit. If you already have Bold Reports credentials, click the Sign In button. You will be redirected to the Enterprise Reporting page. From Bold Reports version 3.1.31, we are providing our report server in both Windows and Linux. For this demo, I am going to download and install the report server in Windows. I click the Download button next to Enterprise Reporting Windows. And the file will be downloaded. You can also download the file in zip format. Now let's see the steps to install the Enterprise Reporting. I double-click the downloaded file. The Enterprise Reporting installation dialog will open. To see the license terms and conditions, click License Terms and Conditions. Select the I agree to the license terms and conditions checkbox. Click the Next button. The Install Settings dialog will open. The installation location field shows where the application will be installed, and where the files related to the application will be copied. From Bold Reports version 3.1.31, Enterprise Reporting can be hosted only in Microsoft IIS Web Server. The port number field will show the port in which the application will be hosted. The site name field will show the identity provider name. By default, create Start Menu Group, create desktop shortcuts and change firewall settings to allow access to outside machines options are enabled. The Create Start Menu Group and Create Desktop Shortcut options are used to create a Start Menu Group and a shortcut icon after the Enterprise application is installed. If you disable these options, you can start the application later by searching in Windows. Alternatively, you could launch it from the IIS Manager. The Change Firewall Settings to allow access to outside machines option provides access to the APIs and reports of the application, which are from another network. Click the Next button. A dialog will be displayed. When installing Enterprise Reporting using Microsoft IIS, some options need to be enabled in the Internet Information Services. Click the article link, which will direct you to the documentation on enabling the IIS features to install the setup. I have provided a link to the documentation in the video description for your convenience. Click OK. The Consent to Deploy Phantom.js WebKit dialog will open. Phantom.js is an executable added while installing the Bold products. It is used to export the data visualization reports. Phantom.js is not necessary if you are installing enterprise reporting in a Windows operating system. If you are installing the report server in an Azure app, or in Linux, then the Phantom.js executable must be downloaded. By default, I agree to download phantomjs.exe and deploy it on my machine, by accepting its license terms on license, and third-party documents, checkbox is selected. Click the Next button. The Consent to Deploy Client Libraries dialog will open. If your report needs to connect with Oracle, MySQL, and PostgreSQL data sources, we need to install additional packages. Since Oracle, MySQL, and PostgreSQL are third-party software, we need to agree to their terms and conditions. By enabling the checkbox, the packages will be automatically downloaded while installing. If you don't use data from these data sources, you can skip this step. For this demo, I enable the MySQL, Oracle.Manage Data Access, and NPGSQL 4.0.0 checkboxes. And then I click the Install button. I have chosen Microsoft IIS as my web server, so I can see the application added to the sites in the IIS Manager. Here, Bold Reports Enterprise Reporting is the identity provider name. The identity provider is used for login purposes. API is a sub-application that contains all the APIs for the identity provider. Reporting is a sub-application that represents the Bold Reports server. The UMS sub-application represents the user management server. It is used to manage the users of Bold Reports. The Windows Authentication sub-application is used to authenticate using Windows. After the installation process is complete, you can launch the application by clicking Launch Application. Now let's start up Enterprise Reporting. On starting the application, we are provided the following interfaces to help us configure the storage options and admin account. Bold ID Server application, which is used to manage user identities and tenants. And the Bold Reports Server application, which is used to manage reports, data sources, datasets, schedules, and user permissions. To proceed with the installation, we need to activate the Bold Reports account. You can activate the Bold Reports account by clicking Login to activate account. If the user works in a secure environment and does not connect outside the firewall, network, or external server for security purposes, they can activate the account using the Unlock Setup key. To activate the account using the Unlock Setup key, click Upload your license file. If you don't have the Unlock key file, then click here. You will be redirected to the Accounts page. I expand the Subscription section. Then I click Get Unlock Key File. You will see the file downloaded. To upload the file, click the Browse button. Then upload the file. For this demo, I am going to activate the account using my Bold Reports credentials. I click Login to activate account. I enter my Bold Reports credentials. And I click the Continue button. You will be redirected to the Select Your Portal License page. If you have only one portal license, then you will not get this page. Select one portal license from the list. Now let's configure the database for the Bold ID server. This database holds information related to user identities and tenant details. The Microsoft SQL Server or Azure SQL, PostgreSQL, or MySQL database can be used for storage. I am choosing MySQL for my application. Based on your selection, the form will be refreshed and the fields related to the selected database will be displayed. I have filled the server name field. And enter the username and password field values. The New Database option allows you to create a new database in the selected server type. The Existing Database option allows you to select an existing database in the selected server type. You can choose either option to connect to the database. By default, the new database is selected. I give the database name field the value bold ID server DB. The Enable SSL option allows us to make a secure connection between the enterprise application and the database by encrypting the data. I click the Next button. Then I can create all the tables that are necessary for the bold ID application. Now let's select the storage type for the bold ID server. The storage type is used to maintain the bold ID resources. You can select either file storage or blob storage to store the resources in bold report sites. The file storage option allows you to store the resources on the local machine. The Azure Blob Storage option allows you to store the resources in Azure Blob Storage. If you select Azure Blob Storage, the fields required to configure the Azure Blob will be displayed, and you can fill them. For this demo, I choose File Storage. And then click Next. Now let's configure the administrator information. The administrator is who has complete control over the application. New users should be created to access the bold report sites and reports. I fill the fields required to create the administrator user. Then, I click the Next button. Now let's configure the reports tenant. The Bold Reports report server supports multi-tenancy, and multiple tenants can be hosted with this single installer. Data isolation across the tenants will be handled by their site identifiers. Here I can modify the site name and site identifier for the initial site. And then I click Next. Let's configure the database for the report server. This database contains information related to your first report tenant, such as reports, users, permissions, and more. Similar to the bold ID server database configuration, you can use a Microsoft SQL Server or Azure SQL, PostgreSQL, or MySQL database for storage. The server type field and other fields related to the selected server type will be automatically filled based on the bold ID server fields. By default, the new database is selected, so that the report server can have a separate database. If you want a common database for the report server and bold ID server, you can choose Existing Database and type the database name you entered for the bold ID server. I type bold report server DB in the database name field. And click the Next button. Now let's select the storage type for the report server. The storage type is used to maintain the report resources. You can select either file storage or blob storage to store the files of reports, data sources, and data sets used in the report server. By default, the file storage option is selected. Click the Next button. The report tenant deployment has started and will run in the background. After the deployment is complete, you will be redirected to the View All page. In this page, sample reports that were already integrated with the report server can be added by clicking Explore in the report sample pop-up. A dialog will open, and it contains the list of samples already available. By clicking the Add Report button, you can add the report to the report server. The reports are added under the Sample Reports category. On clicking the report, it will open in the report viewer. In this video, we have learned how to install the Bold Reports Enterprise Reporting using MySQL. Stay tuned to this channel for our upcoming videos on Bold Reports. Don't forget to click the like button and subscribe to our channel. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time.